Have you ever heard of a deity who was literally born from tears of compassion? Or how about a goddess whose path to wisdom involves, well, breaking all the rules? Today, we're diving into Tara, a truly incredible figure who is both profoundly gentle and fiercely unconventional. We're going to explore who she is and what her fascinating, kind of contradictory nature can teach us. So it all starts with her name. In Sanskrit, Tara means something like the one who helps us cross over. Just think of life, with all its struggles and attachments, as this huge, turbulent ocean. Tara is that steady guide, the rescuer who promises to carry you safely to the other shore.
All right, here's the game plan for how we're going to get to know her. We'll start with her core mission, then unravel her two totally captivating origin stories. We'll look at the countless forms she takes, explore her deep connection to sound itself, and we'll wrap up with a wild story that challenges, well, everything you might think about the path to enlightenment. So let's jump right in. What does it really mean to be the goddess who crosses over? What's her core purpose?
This quote really just gets right to the heart of it. Her name is her job description. She is a savior, plain and simple. And this isn't just about some far-off cosmic liberation. It's about crossing the oceans of our everyday fears, our grief, our confusion, as well as that ultimate ocean of existence itself. Her purpose is always, always to rescue and to guide. And what exactly is this great ocean she helps us cross? In a word, samsara. This is the big concept, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, a cycle that's full of suffering and attachment. Tara's ultimate promise is freedom, liberation from this very cycle. Okay, now we get to a really fascinating part of her identity. See, Tara doesn't have just one origin story. She has two. And they paint two profoundly different pictures of what divinity can be. So our first story starts with Avalokiteshvara, who is basically the embodiment of compassion in Mahayana Buddhism. Picture this being looking out over the entire universe and just seeing an almost infinite amount of suffering. The sheer scale of it was just too much. I mean, even for this incredible being, the task of saving every single person seemed impossible. And in that moment of profound empathy and, helplessness, he just starts to weep.
But here's the thing. These were no ordinary tears. Where they fell to the ground, beautiful blue lotuses bloomed. And from those flowers, Tara was born. And not just in one form, but in 21 different forms, each one ready for immediate, compassionate action. She is, quite literally, compassion made manifest.
So that story gives us this image of a gentle, compassionate savior, right? The mother of all Buddhas. But that's only one side of the coin. In the Tantric tradition, she shows up as one of the 10 great wisdom goddesses, a fierce, primordial, and totally independent power. And this duality, this is what's so central to understanding Tara. She is both the essence of gentle compassion and a force of raw, untamed, supreme wisdom. And that brings us perfectly to her many faces. Because she isn't just one static being. No, she shows up in whatever form is needed to help get the job done. Remember those tears of compassion we just talked about? Well, they didn't just create one being. In Tibetan Buddhism, the belief is that from the main green Tara, a grand total of 21 distinct forms emerge. Each one is a specialized expression of her power to save. And these forms, they aren't just for show. They each have a specific job to do. Her powers range from pacifying conflict and nourishing our well-being, all the way to magnetizing positive forces, and even expressing a kind of wrathful energy that's designed to just annihilate the most stubborn obstacles on our spiritual path. Now, let's flip back to her tantric side. Here, she's got 3 major forms with really specific purposes. Eka Jata is for achieving the ultimate goal, that complete union with the absolute. Then you have Ugratara, or Fierce Tara, who is all about protection from immediate dangers. And finally, Nila Saraswati is the form you turn to for knowledge and for awakening that spiritual energy. This leads us to a much more, esoteric aspect of Tara. In this understanding, she isn't just a form you can see, she's vibration itself. She's sound. So in this view, Tara isn't just some figure, She's the actual source of all sound and speech. She's identified with something called paravak, which you can think of as the silent, cosmic potential from which all words, all vibrations arise. She embodies the creative power of the entire Sanskrit alphabet, where every single letter is a sacred seed, a fundamental vibration of reality itself. Pretty amazing, right? For our final section, I've got a fantastic story for you that just perfectly illustrates the unconventional side of Tara, especially in her tantric form. This is the story of the great sage Vasishta. So, imagine you're Vasishta. You are a master of traditional Vedic rituals. You're trying everything in the book to connect with Tara, and you are failing over and over again. So in his frustration, Tara herself actually appears in a vision and basically tells him, "Your rulebook? Yeah, that's the wrong one for me." She sends him on a quest that leads him to a pretty shocking scene. He finds a figure he recognizes as a form of divinity, but this being is breaking every single rule Vasishta holds sacred. But instead of freaking out, the sage recognizes that there's a deeper wisdom at play here. He asks to be taught this forbidden path, and it is only by embracing these totally unconventional methods that he is finally granted the vision of Tara that he was so desperately searching for. And this story just brilliantly sums it up. Her worship isn't always meant to fit neatly inside those traditional orthodox boxes. She is a goddess who represents a different kind of journey, the left-hand path, which often involves breaking conventional spiritual and social taboos in order to achieve true enlightenment. So what is the big takeaway here? Tara's dual identity really shows us that the divine isn't limited to just one expression. It can be found in the deep, gentle compassion of a bodhisattva's tears, and it can also be found in the raw courage of a practitioner who is willing to walk a path that other people might condemn. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. What does it tell us about the nature of wisdom itself? That it can be found in both selfless, compassionate love and in the radical act of breaking free from everything you thought you knew. Maybe true liberation is just bigger than any single path, waiting for us in the places we least expect it.